Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to present the paper for the authors. Their paper is about Metamorph injecting inaudible commands into over-the-air voice control systems. It's a joint work with City University of Hong Kong, Microsoft, Princeton University. So we know that microphones have become very popular in different types of voice assistance devices. It can accept users' speech and convert it into transcripts, which is known as speech recognition. In US, actually 100 million people are using this voice assistance and the related services. So a natural question to ask is whether they are safe enough. One important reason that the voice assistants are so popular, the speech recognition are so popular today, is because of the neural networks. So they push the accuracy of speech recognition into a high standard. However, the recent study has shown the possibility to launch adversarial attack towards a neural network of speech recognition, which will be introduced next. So here we have an audio clip I. If you feed it into the speech recognition system, we get the transcript, "This is for you." And this is how it sounds like.
This is for you.
Oh, it's very weak. So this is basically it's calling "This is for you."
This is for you.
Oh, it's very weak. Okay. So to launch an adversarial attack, the attacker can generate another perturbation, so a small audio clip delta, and put it onto the I plus delta to generate adversarial example. And then if we put this adversarial example to the speech recognition system, the transcript will be changed, such as "open the door" in this example. If you ask whether this new transcript T prime can be decided by the attacker, the answer is yes. Attacker can fully control T prime by solving the following optimization problem. The optimization objective is to minimize the human perception of delta. And the attacker can put her desired T prime as a constraint, and then this process is called audio adversarial attack. In the future, more and more devices can be controlled by voice interface, and this attack can cause a lot of security threats, like "open the door." However, the current audio adversarial attacks, they all consider feeding audio adversarial examples to the speech recognition directly. A more practical setting should be transmitting the adversarial example out by a speaker to for the neural network at the receiver side. However, the current attack will likely fail into this over-the-air transmission. So if we use the speaker to transmit over-the-air transmission, the attack will likely fail. And now in the next slides, let's understand why it will fail. So when the audio is transmitted, it will be impacted by both the hardware and the channel. Therefore, the received adversarial example is definitely different from the original version, and we denote this distortion as H. So it is clear that the original optimization will not work because of this H. And however, even we understand the reason, it's still non-trivial to make this attack successful because attacker may not be able to measure H in advance. But it is actually needed in the generation of adversarial example under this over-the-air setting. So the paper aims to investigate how to address this issue and demonstrates the possibility of the over-the-air audio adversarial attack. Let's say if the audio is only affected by the attenuation from the channel, in the time domain, the audio amplitude will be decreased. But the receiver will normalize the attack, the attack signal. In this case, the frequency response of this impact can be viewed as a straight line. The signal will not change particularly at any certain frequency. This is called frequency selectivity. Here, there's no frequency selectivity, so it doesn't really matter at all. Now, let's look at the impact from the device itself. We did an experiment in an anechoic chamber without multipath. From the result, we observed that the device hardware could cause the frequency response non-flat. In other words, there will be some frequency selectivity, and this could potentially impact the results of the speech recognition. However, we can see that this frequency selectivity is not strong, and it can be compensable if we put that back into the speech recognition system. So in this chamber, we transmit the adversarial example generated by the recent work. Because the impact from the device alone is limited, actually we can see that some characters still have a chance to be recognized correctly. Now let's look at the impact from multipath. So we did an experiment in 3 typical experiments with different transmission distances. In this case, the line of sight paths dominate the frequency response, which is actually more similar to the attenuation case. Although the multipath still cause certain frequency selectivity, it is actually not very strong. However, when we transmit it over a longer link, like close to the 8 meter, the received signal will be highly different from each other. And this will be highly dependent on the ambient environment. In this case, the frequency selectivity becomes stronger and unpredictable. Here, the unpredictable means that the frequency selectivity pattern is highly related to the environment. If the attacker has no chance to measure the channel in advance, it's very hard to predict how the pattern looks like. So we can see that over the long link, there is no chance to survive any character from the previous adversarial examples. So you see the attack success rate becomes 0. So based on the empirical study, our design idea is as follows. Over the short links, we treat the impacts from devices and channel together as a whole, and then leverage deep learning to extract the core impact from edge. Then we can pre-code such edge in the generation of a preliminary audio adversarial example so that it could survive over the short links. Fortunately, there are some public data sets called CIR data sets which actually measure edge using different devices in different environments. So we can actually utilize this CIR data set directly. And this part of design is called the generation phase. And more details can be found in the paper. And the results show very encouraging results. You can see that more characters can survive after transmission. Even the entire transcript can be successfully decoded after 1 meter transmission. But on the other hand, the performance is still not very good if we further increasing the distance. So the reason is very clear because in this case, the impact from edge is more environment dependent. Is more environment dependent. So we call it domain information. Therefore, we further introduce a domain discriminator to remove such domain information to make the audio adversarial example more domain independent. With this design, the attack distance can be improved significantly, and this part of design is actually called the clean phase. Finally, in our system, we also propose 2 techniques to further improve the quality of the generated adversarial examples. The first technique is called acoustical graffiti. And this technique will make the perturbed sound more familiar more similar to the natural sound. For example, more similar to a bird's chirp. And the second method is to reduce the perturbations coverage using L1, L2 regularization. And you can see that the results of the quality improvement is very significant. Now, before we move to the evaluation, let me play some examples generated by our method. So here is the original transcript based on the music. The original audio has no transcript. So for the first version of the method, without audio quality improvement, we can hear some noise, but not very strong. Hear that. And for the second version, the quality is much better. So both two versions can actually make the speech recognition system output hello world. And the second group is based on human speech, because the human speech contains many empty spaces in the time domain. So the noise from the first version will be more clear. We can hear that. So here is the original human speech.
Your son went to serve at a distant place and became a centurion.
And this is the first version of the adversarial example.
Your son went to serve at a distant place and became a centurion.
And here is a quality improvement.
Your son went to serve at a distant place and became a centurion.
So you can say after audio quality improvement, it sounds much better. So now let's look at the evaluation. We attacked the speech recognition system called Deep Speech, which is developed by Baidu under a white box setting. So here is a flow map of the experiment. So we did experiments for both line of sight attack and non-line of sight attack. So for the line of sight, let's mainly look at the transcript success rate. The first version of our system can achieve good performance even up to 6 meters. If we focus more on the audio quality, the second version of our system is still good over 3 meters. So for the enhanced version, that's the second version, they can achieve 90% of attack success rate. Now for the non-line of sight, it can also achieve very good performance in most cases. You can say that over 95% of attack success rate can be achieved across 11 out of 20 non-line of sight locations. So it's pretty impressive. In conclusion, we investigate over-the-air audio adversarial attack systematically. We propose a generate and clean two-phase design and improve the audio quality of the adversarial examples. We develop a prototype and conduct extensive evaluations. For more information, please visit the website. Thank you very much. That's all. So I don't think I can take any questions. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please send emails to the authors. Thank you.
All right.